There are two teams that haven't won a game yet in the playoffs. They both play tonight. And it'll be interesting to see if one stays alive and if the other one makes the series a series, as a bunch of teams did last night. But history isn't necessarily on their side. Washington. The Capitals are down 2-0 to Columbus. They're going to Columbus, which means that if Columbus holds serve, if they can win both home games, Washington's out. For points, actually, Washington looks pretty good. Carlson with 6 assists in 2 games. Backstrom with 4 assists in 2 games. Ovechkin has 2 goals so far. Kuznetsov with 2 goals. Oshie a goal and an assist. That's fine. Shots on goal. Kuznetsov and Ovechkin both have 14. Eller has 9. Oshie has 8. The hits parade. Well, Ovechkin has 7, which isn't much compared to some other series, but this series hasn't been as vicious yet. Niskanen and Smith-Pelly both have 6. For ice time, Carlson leads the way with a 29-21 average. Orlov's next with 28 minutes and 37 seconds per game. Ovechkin, 27 minutes 52 seconds, and Niskanen with 27 minutes 35 seconds. In net is where there may be an issue. Grubauer has an average of 4.57 through those 2 games, 837 save percentage, and 49 shots against. Holtby came in relief of him in the last game, 1.88 goals against, 875 save percentage, 8 shots against. This is why being a goaltender is probably, I'm not going to say the toughest spot in toughest position in sports, because pitching in baseball is much like that too. But you can get a really nasty, ugly looking number over a very small amount of games, and a lot of people pinpointing and going, yeah, this goalie isn't very good. So I've always felt for goalies during playoff time, because it takes one game to wreck your stats for the first round, and then if your team goes out, people will point a finger at you whether it's right or wrong. On the Columbus side of things, Panarin leads the way in points with a goal and 4 assists. Seth Jones has a goal and 2 assists. Werenski a goal and 2 assists. Atkinson 2 goals and an assist. I mean, you'll notice that the top scorers from between Columbus and Washington, not a big difference, because 2 games played and both of them went into overtime. Shots on goal, Jenner leads the way with 7, then Nudavara with 6, and Atkinson with 6. So more shots being generated by the top guys in Washington than in Columbus. Hits, Foligno with 8, Jones and Jenner both have 7, so the hits are basically the same. Ice time, Seth Jones with 31 minutes and 32 seconds on average. Atkinson 26 minutes and 19 seconds on average. Panarin 25 minutes and 14 seconds on average. So Jones has the most ice time in the series, and yet numbers 2 and 3 are lower than 2, 3, and 4 for the Capitals, meaning that it's more of a spread out attack by Columbus. Goaltending, Bobrovsky has a net goals against average of 2, 920 save percentage, and has faced 88 shots. So more shots taken by Washington, more goals scored by Columbus, and this is the series we have. And it has to be frustrating for Washington Capitals, because they're getting the shots, they're controlling a lot of the play. Ovechkin's got 2 goals in 2 games, both in the same game, but still, if you tell a Capitals fan before the series starts, hey, Ovechkin's going to score a goal a game, you're going to be like, so we lose it in 7? Anyways, and that's a joke taken at the expense of the Capitals, because honestly, at this point in time, it's sad. We've been talking about this Capitals team. We've been waiting for a decade for them to break out of the second round, and it looks like this year, unless they wake up on the road in Columbus tonight and lay a beating on them, it could very well be a first round exit for the Washington Capitals this year, which would be almost criminal with the amount of talent that Ovechkin's had over the years, and with the fact that the Capitals have seemingly annually been able to find a way to mess things up. And this year it looks like the goaltending numbers are ugly through 2 games. We'll see if that continues. But there's always something with the Capitals that and Ovechkin takes a lot of the blame. I had a video a year ago. Is it all Ovechkin's fault? And there were a lot of people who said sure, and more people who said no. But we all kind of agreed that the Capitals, for whatever reason, come playoff time, there's an issue. And this is why last year there were a lot of people taking them for the Stanley Cup. I didn't see anybody take them this year. Nobody. Winnipeg. So they got a beating laid on them by the Minnesota Wild, and it skewed the numbers in this series. And this is where it gets interesting, and we'll go through that. Points-wise, Line A leads the way with 2 goals and 2 assists. Myers, 2 goals and an assist. I haven't heard whether he'll play tonight or not. Bufflin, 3 assists. Shots on goal, Bufflin with 12, Laine with 11, Trouba with 9. Let's find out. Yeah, it's playoff time. If there's been any update on Myers, I haven't found it. But they have called up Samu Niku to play tonight if need be. And for Wild fans who may not know, Niku came up and scored in his first NHL game. So he's a good offensive defenseman. He's won awards in the American League this year, All-Star in the American League this year. I don't know that this weakens Winnipeg, to be completely honest. And I love what Myers has done in the playoffs, but I don't know that it weakens them if Myers can't go. Ice time. Bufflin leads the way for Winnipeg with a 24.09 average. Trouba's next with a 21.27, and then Scheifele with 20 minutes and 16 seconds, and nothing but respect for forwards who play more than 20 minutes a night in the playoffs. And their goaltending, here's where it gets ugly. Hellebuck, 3.40 goals against, 847 save percentage, and 59 shots against. One game. All it takes is one game, and then people are like, oh, that goalie sucks in the playoffs. Mason, no goals allowed, 1.000 goals against average because he didn't allow a goal, or save percentage because he didn't allow a goal, in 7 shots against. On a note, while I was researching in between during the pause, Holtby is starting for Washington, as I suspected that he might. So Grubauer may end up being the guy who gets blame by some, and there may be blame getting thrown at Trotz for starting Grubauer in the playoffs, but Holtby wasn't playing better going into the playoffs. Grubauer had been their starter for the last couple of weeks, and he'd been playing really, really well. So, anyways, let's go over to the Minnesota side of things. Points-wise, Koivu leads the way with 4 assists, Parise 3 goals, and Granlund a goal and 2 assists. So, as scoring goes, because of the 6 goals in Game 3, we're not talking about a bunch of zeros now for the Minnesota Wild. Shots on goal, Dumba with 7 and Stahl with 7. So their shots on goal are much lower over the 3 games than Winnipeg. And yet, that really has to do with the fact that Winnipeg was the better team through the first 2 games, and then Minnesota had the big game in Game 3. This evens out if Minnesota plays that way again in Game 4. For hits, Foligno leads the way with 12. Stahl's next up with 10. Niederreiter with 9. And Dumba with 7. So Matt Dumba, shots on goal, hits, he's right there. And then ice time, 26 minutes and 54 seconds a game. This is why an injury to Ryan Suter sucks, and yet it benefits Matt Dumba because he gets a chance to step out from the shadow and say, hey, I'm a number 1 guy in my own right. Brodin with 24 minutes and 28 seconds per game. Spurgeon with 21:37. In net, things have changed. Dubnyk, 3.03 goals against now, 922 save percentage, 115 shots against. So Dubnyk's numbers now look better than Hellebuck's. If Winnipeg goes in and beats Minnesota 5-1 tonight, then we're talking about it the other way around going into Game 5. And again, it's funny because a forward can go into a playoff and play relatively well over 6 games, get like 4 points. May not get a whole lot of the blame, but that goalie has one bad game. I tell you. Ask Philip Grubauer right now, because he's lost his job in the playoffs already. And you know, it happens. The goaltending position, it just changes from day to day. And it's definitely changed there. Next up. So this is the elimination game right here, is Vegas and LA. And this series has been classic Vegas. They're behind. All right, well, they're going to lose this one. And then wait, I left the room for 10 seconds. How are they winning? This is Vegas hockey. This is how the Golden Knights play. They have a chance to get a sweep tonight and escape the first round of the playoffs without losing a game, meaning they would pass the first round of the playoffs without, and I'm trying to think back. Like, I know they're setting records, but have I ever seen a team in their first playoff experience get a sweep in the first round? And I'm not sure on that one. I'm sure that stat's going to get thrown around a lot if they manage to do it. But I don't remember seeing it where a team's never made the playoffs and then they sweep somebody in the first round. I'm trying to think of it, but it's possible it's happened before, but I can't remember it. For Vegas, here's the scary thing. So if you're an LA fan and you're like, well, we can control this. Here's the problem. Vegas hasn't had goals from Riley Smith, Jonathan Marchessault, Tomas Nosek, Ryan Carpenter, Thomas Tatar, who was a healthy scratch last game and maybe tonight as well, and David Perron, who's got an asterisk because he only played one game. This is the bad news if you're an LA Kings fan. None of those guys have got on the board yet, and you're down 3-0. Shots on goal, Neal has 15, Marchessault with 12, Theodore with 9. And you want to talk about coming out parties like Dumba's had. Shea Theodore's had that for Vegas. Colin Miller with 8. Hits, Carrier with 23. William Carrier, a hated man by Kings fans, running over anything that moves. Marchessault with 15, proving that he's not just a pretty face. James Neal, 14. Eakin with 13. Ice time, Nate Schmidt with 28 minutes and 39 seconds a game. Englund with 26 minutes, 29 seconds a game. William Karlsson, 24 minutes, 42 seconds a game. And Braden McNabb, 24 minutes, 38 seconds per game. This is a really solid team that's done really well. And when they and the Sharks meet in the second round, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and declare that these series are pretty much over. When it's San Jose and LA or San Jose and Vegas in the second round, that is going to be an intense series because they both look like they're on a mission. So I would expect a lot of hitting, a lot of hatred right out of the gate, and rested teams, because if they can both get the sweep, so Vegas tonight, and I'm pretty sure San Jose plays tomorrow night, they can get the sweep, they can get almost a week off between games. So that benefits them if both of them have that going for them. In net, Marc-Andre Fleury, 0.84 goals against. Yeah, he had a 0.39, so he's clearly slacking off. 970 save percentage, down from a 983. Again, slacking off. 99 shots against. So, 99 problems, but a loss ain't one for Marc-Andre Fleury. Yeah, I'm really sorry. That's both dated and sad. Yeah, that's really sad. Just forget I said that. Just edit it out of your brains. Anyways, Fleury's been fantastic, and he's been so fantastic we can overlook what Jonathan Quick's done in LA, can't we? No, we can't. Let's talk about LA. Zeros. These are guys with no points. Toffoli, Doughty, who was suspended a game, Carter, Pearson, Martinez. Carter, Pearson, and Toffoli have no points. This is not good if you're an LA Kings fan. And none of this is good if you're a Kings fan, let's be honest. Shots on goal, Toffoli has 14 shots. So it's not like he's not getting the shots, just Fleury is a brick wall to him right now. Marc-Andre Fleury is just too good right now. There you go. Dustin Brown, 9 shots. Carter, 8 shots. Martinez, 8 shots. Holy crap. Hits-wise, Brown with 19. Fantenberg, 17. Kempe, 16. Lewis, 15. There are so many hits in this series. It is not for the faint of heart. And again, it might be the ugliest sweep that I will ever have seen should LA lose in 4 tonight. It is a chippy series. And yes, LA has a way of bringing that out in teams. LA has a way of aggravating opposing teams. Just usually they're winning when they do it. In this case, they're losing when they do it. Ice time, Martinez leads the way with 30 minutes and 29 seconds played per game. Doughty's next with 27 minutes and 47 seconds. No. Kopitar's next with 27 minutes, 54 seconds. Then Doughty with 27 minutes, 47 seconds. Missing a game, of course. Fantenberg, 26 minutes and 26 seconds. And the game that Doughty missed was the double overtime game. So if Doughty played that game, he'd have a much higher minutes per game average. Jonathan Quick, the guy who can sue the LA Kings for non-support at the end of the playoffs. 1.69 goals against, 945 save percentage in 110 shots against. His numbers dwarf what any other goaltender is doing in the first round other than Marc-Andre Fleury or Martin Jones. And yet his numbers compared to Martin Jones aren't that far off. And yet here we are. Here we are. Martin Jones is up 3-0. Quick's down 3-0. The hockey gods are not ones to play fair. Quick's numbers are just insane, and yet it's been a loss for LA. So tonight they'll try to stave that off. They'll try to stave off elimination. Let me know in the comment section below. Do you think that LA can do so, or do you think tonight's the end of it for them? Will they get Vegas one last time? So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video, and thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.